And we say good morning to you. We're broadcasting live again on this Thursday, typically at Champion Chevrolet, but today we've taken a step aside. We'll be back over there next Thursday at Champion Chevrolet, but today, and we'll talk about them during the course of the show, but today we are live at Freddy's here in North Johnson City. Ooh, yes, Freddy's Frozen Custard. When we talk about the catering, the specialty cakes that you can order for, graduation, Mother's Day, Easter, St. Patty's Day, holidays, whatever the case may be. We'll tell you all about the specialty cakes you can get here at the Freddy's Frozen Custard. And I love it. And Freddy's Steak Burgers, again, the frozen custards and steak burgers, and we'll talk all about that as we're here. 2 locations, of course, but we're here. There's Kingsport, Johnson City, Bristol, and now Morristown. But we're here, of course. We always like to hang out at Randall's store. We're here live again at Freddy's in North Johnson City. Tomorrow, we'll be at Food City on Eastman Road in Kingsport on a Food City Friday. Got the big 2-day Lucky 7 sale going on tomorrow and Saturday at all Food Cities in the chain at Food City stores, over 130 chains. 130 stores there in the chain. So it is probably this day and tomorrow, probably the 2 coolest days in all of sports. It is March Madness kicking up in high gear, including the Tennessee Volunteers playing basketball coming up here in a little while. We'll tell you all about that and bring you the entire schedule of who all is playing where and what regional. We're going to do it chronologically so you can kind of set your clock and watch the games that you want to watch. And so we'll do that. The Lady Bucks getting ready to crank it up. They've got a big game coming up tonight on the road in the WNIT. The NIT continues from last night. It had a little dust up between LSU's coach and Louisiana's coach. They got after each other pretty good. In fact, they had to be restrained. Another coach threw a chair when he got kicked out of a game. So little tempers flaring in the old NIT tournament last night. And I would assume some of that's going to carry over and do the same today, March Madness, because there is no tomorrow. And so got to do it today and keep on moving. Single elimination, of course, on the quest for the national championship. And, of course, the big story is, can North Carolina repeat as the defending national college basketball champions? We'll see. Most folks say they don't have the horses to do it this year, but I don't think you ever count out North Carolina simply because of Roy Williams and the talent base. But I think it'll be an uphill pull for them to go in as the number 2 seed and to do what they need to do to win the national championship. We'll see. We'll run them down for you coming up here in a few minutes. We always start our show by dedicating the show to the man who hung on the cross. Our verse for today to get it started, Proverbs 4:5-9 says, "Never forget my words. Do not depart from my wisdom, for it will protect you and watch over you. My wisdom and understanding will honor you and present you with a crown of splendor." Never forget my words. Do not depart from my wisdom, for it will protect you and watch over you. My wisdom and understanding will honor you and present you with a crown of splendor. Proverbs 4:5-9 is the verse of the day. Big blow to NASCAR. We'll tell you about that coming up. Big sponsor walking away from the sport. I don't know what that says. It tells me a lot, but we'll see. Also, we're doing our countdown. We're 31 days out from the Food City 500, you see on the hat, and also 30 days away from the Xfinity Series and the K&N Pro Series, the Zombie Auto 150 and the Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300 coming up on Saturday, April the 14th. We're an even Steven 30 days out from that event. It's going to be cool. We're looking forward to that. Looking forward to all the racing action at the world's fastest half mile, the world's last great Coliseum. But today, the focal point is, as it should be, hoops, and lots of it. We'll take a break. We'll come right back, and we'll get in there and tell you who's playing where to get it started. All brought to you by the good folks here at Freddy's in North Johnson City on show number 709. As we go to the break, one birthday to tell you about. Love this group, the Beach Boys. Mike Love, the lead singer of the Beach Boys, having a birthday today. You know you're old when Mike Love of the Beach Boys is 77 years old today. Woo. But they can still get out there and they can still croon. They're still on tour. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with show number 709 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show live at Freddy's at North Johnson City.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City is starting off 2018 with monster savings on over 350 new Chevrolets to choose from. Take advantage of these awesome savings for a limited time only. Silverado Crew and Double Cabs, $10,000 off MSRP. 17 Spark, $11,995. 18 Equinox, $19,995. 17 Traverse, $28,995. 17 Corvette, 20% off MSRP. Shop us online 24/7 and don't forget our Saturday parts and service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
The savings continue the month of February at Max Medicine in Kingsport. All natural factors 20% off. Folic acid, CoQ10, apple cider vinegar capsules, B12. They're all on sale. Anything natural factors, all 20% off the month of February at Max Medicine Mart. No coupons, no limits. It's a flat 20% off anytime you buy natural factors in February at Max Medicine Mart. Max Medicine Mart, Center Street, Kingsport. Natural factors 20% off in February. Make tracks to Max Medicine Mart.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back at the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us live at Freddy's. Don't forget, coming up, they got these specialty cakes, which is really cool. And you've got all kinds of reasons to get a specialty cake. You've got, of course, St. Patty's Day coming up this weekend. If you need a green one, you can make your own. If you've got a party coming up involving Easter or some kind of a get-together or just a backyard dinner or whatever the case may be. Of course, Mother's Day right around the corner, Father's Day, graduation. So I was talking to Randall. Randall had to take off to a manager's meeting, can't be with us. He said, you can do it, big guy. I'll do it. I'll give it my best shot. So all you need is 24 hours in advance. Specialty cakes, you can get any of the Freddy specialties, the Signature Turtle, the PBC&B, the Dirt and Worms, the Hawaiian Delight, or the Chocolate Brownie Delight cakes. Any of those you can get as a specialty cake, or you can come in and make your own, create your own. So it's really neat. Cakes, again, just need 24 hours in advance to have them ready for you. Can't beat that. I think anybody can budget yourself and make sure you can give somebody enough leeway to make that happen. So 24 hours in advance for the cakes orders, and also they cater. And also they have a Sunday bar, which is really cool. They'll bring the actual Sunday bar to your location and with bodies to serve it. So that's a really cool way to do a fundraiser. And so the Sunday bar is a way to certainly look at that with all the toppings and all the things going on that you would like to have with the Sunday. You've got all the different toppings. Goodness, chocolate M&Ms. You've got coconut. You've got Reese Pieces. I mean, the list goes on and on. The different kind of toppings they can bring to you. And a Sunday bar, again, at Freddy's. Neat stuff. And we'll talk more about that coming up here a little bit later on. Hello to Jerry McNeil, to Betty Perry. Betty says, I love the Beach Boys. So do I. I love the Beach Boys. Mike Love, the lead singer, 77 today. And oh, by the way, starting today, I thought, we need to start counting down for Christmas. We're 284 days away from Christmas. Hello to Vincent Ludwig, Donna Bryant. Hello to Renee McNeil. Hello to Gary Taylor. Saw Renee and Jerry last night at the church house. Love those kids. Jerry's going back to work today. He's excited, I think. Maybe he's not, but he's going back to work. So I want to say hello to those kids. Really appreciate Renee and Jerry McNeil. They're good peeps. And so is Betty Perry and her hubby. They're good peeps, too. We're live here again at Freddy's, so here we go. Let's kick it in and kick it off. We've got 16 games to run through today. We'll do it chronologically. First game comes up at 12:15, about an hour from now. In the Midwest Regional in Pittsburgh, it'll be the number 7 seed, Rhode Island, the number 10 seed, the Oklahoma Sooners. Hope you have your bracket filled out because we're getting ready to get after it here. At 12:40 this afternoon, out of the South Regional, the Tennessee Volunteers in Dallas taking on the 14th seed in the Wright State basketball team. Tennessee at number 3 seed, of course. And so they'll tip it up at 12:40. So we'll be able to give you running scores. Hey, Chad Fletcher, top of the morning to you. Thank you, my friend. Looking forward to working with you and the folks at Kingsport Speedway. And so, again, the Tennessee Volunteers and Wright State get after it at 12:40 this afternoon. So we'll be able to give you a little bit of that scoring before we get off the air. By the way, we're going to be joined just in a few minutes by Jeff Birchfield talking NASCAR. Also, a little bit later on, Carmichael talking basketball, and Dave Angie coming in talking all kinds of different sports. So we got our guests lined up and ready to go here today at Freddy's. At 1:30 this afternoon from Boise, Idaho, in the West Regional, the number 4 seed, a team you want to watch in this whole tournament, Gonzaga. The number 4 seed Gonzaga team taking on UNC Greensboro out of the Southern Conference. 13th seed, they'll play that one at 1:30 in Boise today. At 2 o'clock, the Midwest Regional, the number 1 seed, the Kansas Jayhawks. Some say they're the national champion. I don't think so. Kansas in Wichita. It's more or less a home game for them. They'll take on 16th seeded Penn, taking on the Quakers at 2 o'clock this afternoon. These are all Eastern Standard Times. Also at 2 o'clock, check that at 2:45, the Duke Blue Devils kick it in from the PBG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. That'll be a 2:45 tip-off. Number 2 seeded Duke against 15th seeded Iona in the Midwest Regional. Some say Duke could be the team to do it this year. We'll see. You also have chronologically at 3:10 this afternoon out of the South Regional. This one's got upset all over it. 11th seeded Loyola of Chicago and 6th seeded Miami of Florida playing in Dallas. As we've learned, the bracket that has the most upsets, the bracket pairing, is the number 6 against the number 11 team. Thus, Miami and Loyola of Chicago. Miami, the number 6 seed. I think they're overrated. I don't think they're worthy. I think they were maybe for me, 9 or 10 seed, not a 6 seed, but we'll see. They can prove me wrong starting at 3:10 this afternoon. At 4 o'clock in Boise, Idaho, in the West Regional, 5th seed at Ohio State takes on the number 12 seed South Dakota State at the Taco Bell Arena in Boise, Idaho at 4 o'clock this afternoon. At 4:30 at Wichita in the Midwest Regional, this one will be interesting. 8th seeded Seton Hall, the Pirates. 9th seeded North Carolina State will get after it in the 4:30 tip-off in Wichita in the Midwest Regional. Then you get into the night session. At 6:50, top seeded Villanova in the East takes on the Radford Highlanders, the 16th seed. Of course, they got the play-in win and one of the first 4 wins coming up the other day when they defeated, who'd they defeat? I want to say the Blackbirds. It was Long Island University out of Brooklyn, 71-61. So Radford, by winning that game, gets a chance to take on the number 1 seed in the East, top seeded Villanova. That'll be in Pittsburgh at 6:50 tonight. That's more or less a home game for Villanova in a roundabout way. They're pretty close to Pittsburgh, obviously. Then you get into the South Regional and Boise at 7:10 tonight. 5th seeded Kentucky. John Calipari says, I feel slighted. Our guys, 5th seed in the region, were the Southeast Conference tournament champions. We needed a better seeding. They didn't get it. Wildcat takes on a Wildcat. 5th seeded Kentucky takes on 12th seeded Davidson. That'll be at 7:10 tonight. Then you get into the West Regional at 7:20 tonight from Wichita. Of course, all these, don't hold me to it as far as the time, but they approximate because you never know what's going to happen in the previous games. 6th seeded Houston takes on the number 11 seed San Diego State. So there again, there's that upset bracket. So if you go on the averages and percentages, you take San Diego State. They're playing the West Regional in Wichita at 7:20 tonight. At 7:30, back to the East, playing in Dallas, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, number 3 seed out of the East, takes on the 14th seed Stephen F. Austin. So 2 Texas teams are playing right there in Dallas. 7:27 tonight East Regional. Then you have another East Regional game at 9:20. Our other regional team of interest, the Hokies of Virginia Tech. The 8th seed plays Alabama, the 9th seed, at 9:20 tonight in Pittsburgh, and the East Regional. 2 more games. See, what I think is interesting, we talked about this yesterday to Chris Brown, our buddy from Daniel Boone, who came by, and hello, Betty Perry, no to Duke. Hello, Andy Thaxton in West Virginia. Hello to you, young lady. Betty Perry says no. Yes to the Beach Boys and no to Duke. I got you. So totally understand that. What we got? Where did I leave off? 9:40 tonight. Taco Bell Arena in Boise. South Regional, 13th seeded Buffalo and the 4th seeded Arizona. That'll be coming out of the South Regional tonight. 2 more games. They start this one at 10 o'clock. Wichita, Kansas will see the West Regional, number 3 seeded Michigan, number 14 seeded Montana, and then the last game tonight, we'll get into the time factor in a moment. This one will be back in Dallas in the East Regional. To wrap up tonight, it is Florida, number 6 seed, and St. Bonaventure, the number 11 seed, going at it again tonight, and that'll be from the East Regional in Dallas, Texas. So again, let's run them down for you. Oklahoma, Rhode Island, the Midwest Regional, Tennessee, Wright State in the South Regional at 12:40, UNC Greensboro, Gonzaga in the West, Kansas and Penn in the Midwest, Duke and Iona in the Midwest, Loyola, Chicago, Miami in the South today, Ohio State and South Dakota State in the West Regional, NC State and Seton Hall in the Midwest Regional, and the East Regional, number 1 seed Villanova and Radford. In the South Regional, Davidson and Kentucky today, West Regional, San Diego State and Houston. In the East Regional, Stephen F. Austin and Texas Tech. In the East Regional, Alabama and Virginia Tech. In the South Regional, Buffalo and Arizona. In the West Regional, Montana and Michigan. And in the East Regional, St. Bonaventure and Florida. That's just today. 16 games, 16 more tomorrow to whittle it down. And so we got lots going on, obviously, in college basketball. What I did, and I left it at home, but what I did last night, I always do a real one and I do a goofy one. So last night I picked a goofy one, and I picked it based on nicknames. Animal nickname games, just which is pretty cool. Got into a situation where it was like Davidson and Kentucky, Wildcat versus Wildcat, and so I picked everything as how it would be if it was a nickname game. It was pretty interesting. The Montana Grizzlies did well. The Clemson Tigers did well when they did head-to-head. For example, let's see here. You have the Montana Grizzlies and the Michigan Wolverines. Well, I took the Grizzlies. I figured a Grizzly can eat up a Wolverine, so I picked Montana in that particular, the nickname bracket that I did. The St. Bonaventure Bonnies and the Florida Gators. I picked the Gators. I would think a Gator could chew up a Bonnie, whatever that is. Then you have the Jayhawks and the Quakers. Felt like the Jayhawks could dive bomb the Quakers and beat them, so I took Kansas and whip them up. Let's see. It's really crazy. It got to be pretty cool, really. What was the other one? College Charleston Cougars and the Auburn Tigers. So I took Tigers. I figured Tiger could beat a Cougar. And then you had, I don't know. These are some of the other ones I did. Arkansas Razorback and the Butler Bulldogs. I figure a Bulldog can whip up on a Razorback. Maybe not. So I took a Bulldog. So I did one seriously, and I did, hello, Tim Gross. Hi, Tom, I can see you. I can see you, too. Back on the other side of the camera. Thank you. And so it was pretty cool doing the nickname pick. I'm not even sure. I left it at home, and I'm not sure who won. I'll bring it tomorrow. But it was kind of cool. And I did a real bracketing, too. And so it was neat. Kind of cool to fun-ski, do stuff. I don't take this real serious. I know a lot of folks do. I mean, it's a lot of fun to sit around and talk about it. But, 25 years from now, it won't matter a hill of beans. So what's going to matter is where's your allegiance as far as your spiritual walk with the Lord. That's what's going to matter. NIT from last night. Let's run them down for you. You had Penn State defeating Temple in Region 1, 63-57. Penn State plays Notre Dame now in the second round of the NIT. Marquette holds off Harvard 67-60. Marquette moves on. Harvard is done. They'll play Oregon in Region 1. Coming up, that'll be, I think, over the weekend. Got to double check to see when they play again. Then you have in Region 2 last night, Mississippi State, the Bulldogs, hold off Nebraska 66-59. They'll take on the number 1 seed Baylor. And then you have in Region 3 from last night, it was, let's see, Stanford and BYU and Boise State and Washington. I got to double check on those scores. I went to bed and forgot to check those. My bad. I will check on those. I do know that LSU eliminated Louisiana. That one got a little dicey. LSU 84, Louisiana 76. First round game, Louisiana coach Bob Martin made comments saying why his team was a lower seed than LSU. Tigers coach Will Wade took exception to the comments. Here's what Martin said, had Wade fired up. We would like to play this game at home, which they didn't. They played at Baton Rouge. Our athletic director reached out to the commissioner and to a couple of others to get a read on the seeding and how that happened. Our RPI is much better. Our record is much better. Our gym's even better. Whew. Wow. Yeah, that's a shot across the bow. A lot of things we say should be a higher seed than we were. A lot of things that we say we should be a higher seed than we were. We've got the second best record in the entire tournament out of 32 teams, but it is what it is. We have, excuse me, we haven't gotten an answer yet. So anyway, they go ahead and play in LSU last night. Got a little dicey. LSU wins at 84-76, but they had to restrain the coaches several times, which is really good role models, isn't it? Over on the sideline. Then you had a coach last night, I forget which tournament game it was. This guy's throwing chairs after he gets kicked out of the game. He's throwing chairs. Great role model for the boys, isn't it? Oh, me, oh, my. Me, oh, my. So anyway, the heat of the moment, if I ever got upset and done things I regretted, yeah, probably. I think we all have, but I don't remember throwing chairs. Just saying. Let's see what else is going on in basketball. Last night, how about at North Green? The Huskies defeated Oakdale 82-72 in overtime in the Class A state quarterfinals of the Murphy Center, making its third state appearance in school history and the first since 1992. North Green outscored the Eagles 15-5 in the bonus quarter. Andy Stevens went 8 for 8 from the foul line, sank 3 3-pointers, had 25 points for the Huskies, also dished out 6 assists. Huskies 29-8 will face Douglas 31-1 in Friday's semifinals. How about it? They shot 86% from the free throw line. How many schools now, you go out and watch high school basketball in this day and age, kids can't make free throws. They just clunk them, clang them and clunk them. Some do, most don't. Here's a team that shot 86% from the free throw line. That was the difference in the ball game. Congratulations to North Green moving into the state semifinals tomorrow, taking on Douglas. That'll be happening again at the Murphy Center at East Tennessee. I'm at the Murphy Center and Middle Tennessee State. Yeah, at the Murphy Center at Middle Tennessee State University in Murfreesboro. So congratulations to Oakdale. Also from yesterday in AAA, Whitehaven blew out Knox Powell 53-36. I'm going to tell you this, and I can say this with authority because I used to go down with Dobbins Minute doing their basketball games in the state tournament every time they went when I was calling the Indians on the radio. You have Tennessee basketball, and then you have Memphis basketball. You can say what you want to say. That's the way it is. Case in point, Knox Powell, pretty good basketball team, went down to Whitehaven. Memphis Whitehaven got them 53-36. Clarksville Northeast beat Riverdale by 20, 56-36. Memphis East beat Blackman by 19, 52-33. Bearden wins. The Bulldogs beat Mount Juliet 61-43. So for the semifinals in AAA tomorrow, Whitehaven against Clarksville Northeast, Memphis East against Bearden. Good luck to Bearden representing our side of the state. And then in AA today, everybody plays today. Hamilton takes on Whites Creek at 2:15. Hamilton at 33-2 at Memphis team. Whites Creek out of Nashville 21-12. Livingston Academy Livingston Academy 25-9 taking on Alcoa, who's 22-10. Jackson Southside at 21-8 taking on the Knox Fulton basketball team at 23-8 at 5:30. And then Stratford takes on Chattanooga Tyner at 7 o'clock tonight in the AA. Stratford 24-6, Tyner at 20-10. That's the AA games going on today at the Murphy Center in Murfreesboro. Single A yesterday, North Green beat Oakdale 82-72, as we told you, in overtime. Douglas gets by Clay County 70-67. So today in the Single A quarterfinals, Monterey takes on MASE at 11 o'clock, and Columbia Academy battles Loretto at 12:30 in Single A basketball. And again tomorrow, team we're watching, North Green takes on Douglas at 2:15 tomorrow. Tom Taylor Sports Show, we're live again on the road at Freddy's in North Johnson City. Betty Perry says, go Huskies, you better believe it. It's like Hoosiers. They're the only team standing. And again, I'm telling you from authority, because I was down there, there is a different world in basketball in the state tournament. You go in with, I know there's two teams went in twice with Dobbins Bennett. Over 30 wins. So one had 28 wins. One was 31-2. We went down and played Memphis White Station. and got run off the floor. In fact, they caught off the Dogs. They could have beat Dobyns-Smith that day by 40 points, and DB had a great basketball team back in that particular year. They were really good, but there's Tennessee basketball, and then there's Memphis basketball, and it's a different gear, different level, different whatever you want to call it when you play them in Memphis. And so Whitehaven blows out Knox Powell last night, 53-36. Knox Powell is a good basketball team. But congratulations to North Green. They're still alive, representing all of us again in Northeast Tennessee in the state basketball tournament in Murfreesboro, playing tomorrow. Again, one more time, the North Green Huskies, their tip-off time will be at 2:15 tomorrow at the Murphy Center in Murfreesboro. One other note before we take a break, Tubby Smith gone as coach in Memphis after 2 seasons amid dropping attendance, donation to the athletic department. Tubby no longer a coach at the University of Memphis. Rumor has it Penny Hardaway, former player, is going to be his successor. Tubby Smith went 40-26 at Memphis, including 21-13 this season. The Tigers have won 7 of their final 9 games before losing Saturday to Cincinnati in the AAC Conference Tournament semifinals. Some say, why did they get rid of him? I don't know. I'm not sure why, but Memphis issued a statement saying only that an agreement of separation had been reached in the best financial interest of both parties. Smith said via Twitter, I appreciate the opportunity to have led the University of Memphis basketball program for the last 2 years, and he's proud of the work he and his staff did. He says, after 39 years in college coaching, I know that change happens. I wish the university and the team the best as they pursue a different direction. That's coming from Tubby Smith. And that is what we've got going on in high school and college basketball. When Jeff Birchfield gets here, I won't steal his thunder. The Johnson City Press and the Kingsport Times News have announced the what is it called? The all-conference. It's not the all-conference team. It is the all-Northeast Tennessee boys and girls teams. And so we'll tell you all about that coming up here in just a few minutes. One more note, East Tennessee State. The Lady Bucks will take on James Madison today at 7:05 in the women's NIT basketball tournament from Harrisonburg, Virginia. The Bucks, 20-12, earned the WNIT bid by finishing second in the Southern Conference regular season. The Dukes, 21-10, tied with Drexel for the Colonial Athletic Association regular season title. Both teams had a common opponent in the Lady Vols. Tennessee defeated East Tennessee State 87-49 and then beat James Madison 3 days later by 39 points, 89-60. So good luck to Brittany Ezell and the Lady Bucks. Also, coming up next week, we'll talk about this on Monday, the ladies from Carson Newman, including a young lady who has been to our church several times, who's class act, Miss Marisites, and the Carson Newman girls basketball team playing in the Elite Eight at the NAIA, I believe it is. And I did not bring that story with me. Yes, I did. Here it is. Thank you, Lord. Oh, he covered me again. Former Elizabethton Star standout Kayla Marisites grabbed a school record 21 boards on Monday. Helped Carson Newman advance to the NCAA Division II Women's Basketball Elite for the first time in school history. They will play on March the 19th in the Elite Eight in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Now, I have said this on several occasions before I go to the break. Why go to Sioux Falls, South Dakota? I don't know who can bid on these tournaments here in Northeast Tennessee, but you think about having like the NAIA men's tournament had 32 teams in it, and they got to be playing at several sites. You've got Freedom Hall, you've got, not the Stone Castle, Viking Hall, you've got the Buck Van Ness Dome. There's 3 right there that you could use as a rotator to have these teams come in here and play. Let's see who else got a pretty nice arena. Of course, the Topper Gym, Crockett, but certainly the big 3 that you'd want and could easily accommodate and bring all those folks in here with the hotels and the tourism dollar would be to use those 3 sites, providing, Freedom Hall be done because the Bucks would be over. At that point, they would be playing in a tournament somewhere, like the Southern Conference. High school tournaments would be done for all intents and purposes, so you could use those 3 arenas, which are primos, to bring in a big tournament like an NAIA or NCAA Division II. I know Milligan went to, somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, they told me, and it took them, 17 hours to get there on a bus, on a van. Carson Newman's going to Sioux Falls. I'm not knocking South Dakota. I've never been there. I'm sure it's a beautiful place, but I'm just thinking from logistically speaking, and what I read the statistic, where we are within 500 miles, you're like I think it's like 75 or 80% of the population in this country is within 500 miles where we're sitting. I think I read that one time. So it would be very convenient. You got the beautiful countryside, got great arenas, got the Southern hospitality folks tell you about when they come to the races in Bristol. All the reasons you would want to bid on something like that. So I don't know who can do that, but maybe all three chambers get together and bid on something. Would be really cool to bring that kind of a tournament to the Tri-Cities. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Jerry Keller, hello to you. Betty Perry says, go North Green Huskies. You got it. Hello to Tim Gross. Hello to Chad Fletcher. Hello to Betty Perry. I said hello to my buddy Gary Taylor. Hello to Andy Thaxton. We're live here again at Freddy's in North Johnson City. We'll take a quick break. We've got him talking a little hoops. Got him talking a lot about NASCAR. I think it's a big blow to NASCAR. Maybe I'm wrong, but a major sponsor walked away yesterday. We'll tell you all about that and get you ready for 31 days away from the Food City 500 here on show number 709 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show, live at Freddy's North Johnson City. Our dear friend Jeff Birchfield joins us next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Phil's Dream Pit, the quest for perfect barbecue. Do you like pulled pork? At Phil's, the pulled pork is cooked low and slow. We cook it all night, but we serve it fast. Our pulled pork is hickory smoked, tender and juicy. We serve the pork either as a sandwich on a bun or platter style with garlic toast. And don't forget to try our pork wings. They taste like a cross between ham and our sweet ribs. It comes as a meal, as an add-on, or part of our meat sampler platters. Pulled pork and pork wings. Just two great reasons to stop by Phil's Dream Pit. Eastern Star exit off I-26, 349-6437. Phil's Dream Pit, the quest for perfect barbecue.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
We're back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We are joined by our buddy, and let's get him in here, and let's get the camera on the right guy here because he is here, got lots to talk about. And there he is, my buddy Jeff Birchfield from Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News. And good morning, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing well, Tom.
Let's talk let's give you some slack. You don't have enough slack on your cord, so you can. There we go. Let's jump in here and talk. First off, I'm very proud. It's like Hoosiers. The North Green Huskies win yesterday over Oakdale in overtime. They go 18 out of 21 from the stripe. You've covered a lot of basketball. I said before you got here, kids in high school don't shoot free throws well anymore, and this team did. That's what got them the victory yesterday.
It did, and it ironically came 1 week after the Unaka girls won their state tournament game by basically doing the same thing. They were actually 18 of 19 against Wartburg Central, and for 2 games they went like 29 of 32, which I pointed out in my story last week about them, that that's better than Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors are doing, which leads the entire NBA. So, yeah, it takes, and that says a lot about a coach, teaching toughness, mental toughness, because, you're under a lot of pressure, a lot of times on those free throws, and a lot of concentration, a lot of focus. So, for them to do that well, that speaks highly of the coaches.
They'll play Douglas tomorrow in the state semifinals. And again, I was talking earlier before you got here about the difference. There's Tennessee basketball, then there's Memphis basketball, and it was never more evident than yesterday. A Knox-Powell team, it's a really good basketball team. They went up against Whitehaven, got beat 53-36. So Bearden won. That's good for Northeast Tennessee and for East Tennessee. So North Green's still alive, and so they'll play Douglas tomorrow in the state semifinals, the state basketball tournament in Murfreesboro, and that's a good thing, which rolls right into on the front page. I didn't want to steal his thunder, but on the front page, there it is, in both the Times News and the Johnson City Press, is the best of the best, the all Northeast Tennessee boys and girls team. And since you helped put this together, I would only be right for you not to steal your thunder and let you talk about it.
Well, everybody knows, like in Southwest Virginia, Mac McClung's been the best player as far as high school basketball, but Northeast Tennessee, like it's pointed out, the best players in a Blue Devils uniform as well. Trevor Hensley, Unicoi County, he broke the career scoring record for the school. Really had a terrific year. And then on the girls' side, Macy Culberson, Daniel Boone, led them to the state tournament. Just terrific guard. And then our coaches of the year were the boys' coach of the year is really tough to pick because Ken Cutlip, Science Hill led them to the 4th straight regional title. But you think about what Chris Poore did over there at DB. He did a really good job. The program won like 19 games the last 2 seasons, and they end up winning the district and, made it all the way to the sectional round and stuff. So, he did an excellent job as well. And then same way on the girls' side, I was just talking to Unaka, Ken Chambers leads them to a win down there in the state tournament, but we ended up going with Travis Maines from Boone. They really consistent all year, and you look at 3 of their 5 losses came to Riverdale, which is the best team in the state, and then 2 others came to Bradley Central, who were undefeated, when Boone played them both times.
We're talking to Jeff Birchfield. You see on the screen, Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News. He wears 2 hats and wears them well. And so basketball, again, for the guys and the girls, Trevor Hensley, the all-time leading scorer at Unicoi County. Rattle off the first team, second team. Let's start with the guys.
Well, with the guys, we got Blake Atwood of Johnson County. Really good guard there. Ron Bledsoe, who was a Big 7 Player of the Year from Cherokee. Jeriah Love, terrific point guard for Science Hill. Murray Foreman, who's the younger brother of both Malik Foreman, the former Tennessee football defensive back, and Chattanooga basketball player Mikkel Foreman. And then we got Drew Owens from Hampton. That was our first team. Second team was Chad Hagler from Daniel Boone, Jordan Self from Sullivan Central, Romello Wadsworth of Dobbins Bennett, Mikkel Bride of David Crockett, and Troy Podman of Unicoi County, who averaged a double-double. And our defensive player of the year, Caleb Meredith, really made a huge impact as a freshman at University High. And then our most promising underclassman was Parker Hughes, a kid out of Elizabeth, and really player. And you always leave good players out. Like I can think of Christian Webb at Tennessee High, averaged like 17 points a game. You have to leave some of those guys out, and you're looking at, we have different factors we look at. We look at team success. You look at individual stats. You look at, just the eyeball test, games you covered. And that's another thing, too. Science Hill had a great year, and in a way, I would like to see another Science Hill kid represented on there. But, the style of play they have, it hurts them in some ways because their stats, don't measure up very well a lot of other teams, although they've got a lot of terrific players on that team.
We're talking again to Jeff Birchfield, and so you look at this first team, second team, some great kids on there. I watched a lot of AA basketball, and I got to tell you, the kid from Solomon Central, Jordan Self, just about every night he put that team on his back and carried them. I don't know how many games they won. I don't think they had the kind of year they wanted at Sullivan Central, but as an individual player, I don't know where the kid's going, but Jordan Self at Sullivan Central can play. He was kind of like a one-man wrecking crew, and some of these guys are coming back. You have a lot of underclassmen on this team.
Yeah, you sure do. There's not a ton of seniors on that team. Hensley is a senior, Drew Owens, a Hampton a senior, and Troy Poppin at Unicoi County a senior. The rest of those guys are all underclassmen, so that does bode well for basketball Northeast Tennessee next year. And not to put any pressure on anyone, but just watching that Dobbins-Bennett team play late in the season, I think that's a team definitely could make a state tournament next year and make some noise,
Including Parker Hughes and Elizabeth, and only a freshman. So this kid's got 3 more years for Lucas Honeycutt. We're talking to Jeff Birchfield. We're live at Freddy's here in North Johnson City. Let me steal this cheat sheet here real quick and tell you about, again, the catering opportunities. You can get a Sunday bar, where they'll actually bring the Sunday bar you see up here when you come into the restaurant. They'll come out to your place, bring the Sunday bar to you, set it up as a fundraiser, or just set it up, period. And they'll even come bring the horses to serve it. All you got to do is just order it. And you can do that by simply calling here at Freddy's at 282-1114 and find out more about a Sunday bar. SUN, not the day Sunday, but the food Sunday. The Sunday bar, they'll bring the Sunday bar to you, and they'll even bring folks out to help serve it. So all you got to do is just order it and get out of the way and let them come, and they'll take care of the rest. 282-1114 here at Freddy's Frozen Custard, North State of Franklin. And again, my man's getting ready to eat here in a few minutes. What'd you say you're going to eat, the California burger?
Yeah, I like that California burger here. That's my favorite.
California burgers. All right, let's take a look.
They all could be California burgers.
Yeah, well, funny you said that. Good segue. Mike Love, the lead singer of the Beach Boys, having a birthday today. Would you like to guess how old Mike Love is?
I'm going to guess 71.
Higher. You get 2 more guesses.
77.
Ding, 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 ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Winner, winner, California burger dinner. There you go. Mike Love, lead singer of the Beach Boys. I love the Beach Boys.
And another California segue you have there in NASCAR with our man Jimmy Johnson from El Cajon, California, losing sponsorship yesterday. So you're asking me how big of a deal I thought it was. I definitely think that's a huge deal. I mean, you got a guy going for a record 8th championship, and you have a only sponsor he's had, and they're pulling out there.
Chad Fletcher says, hey, Birchfield, you know Chad Fletcher?
I know Chad Fletcher. He's one of the great motorsports photographers in our area.
There you go. Look up in the camera and say hello to Fletcher. Make him feel
Fletcher.
Good. There you go. Chad Fletcher watches the show every day, and we appreciate that very much. So the story is, we'll get back to the girls. We want to get the Girls Player of the Year and their first team in just a second, but he segued on me, and that's okay. 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Jimmy Johnson losing his sponsorship, Lowe's saying they won't be back after this year. To me, that is huge. They've been the only primary sponsor on Jimmy Johnson's car for 18 years since 2001, or 17 years. It'll be 18 for next year. And so they've said they're stepping away. This guy's won 7 Cup championships, 83 points-paying races, 35 poles, 222 top 5 finishes, 341 top 10s, and Jimmy Johnson's led more than 18,000 laps. I mean, this guy, I would think, would be the sponsor. The car you'd want to have your sponsorship on. Maybe Chase Elliott, I guess, maybe Kyle Busch, but certainly he's one of the top 3. And Lowe's says they're stepping away. What does that say for Lowe's, or what's that say for NASCAR?
Well, it's a big blow for NASCAR, first off, because this is a guy going for an 8th championship, there's going to be a ton of publicity around that if he does, win an 8th title and pass Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt, as the all-time winningest champion in the sport's history. So, it's tough for NASCAR. And you have to think, if you're a 7-time champion can't get sponsorship, for a whole season, who can, basically.
What about the timing? Here it is, 4 or 5 races into the season. They're heading off to California. They come back east next week, Martinsville. Then they have Texas. Then they come to Bristol in 31 days. So why now? Why would Lowe's pull the plug? Why wouldn't they have announced it before the season started?
I think it was more of a thing they wanted to go through, their figures and all again. And I think, one of the things the reports came back and Lowe's didn't do as well as, they had projected they were going to do. And also, that's been the biggest thing with them, Well,
if the popularity of NASCAR is sliding, and some say it is, then Maybe Lowe's says they got to put their money somewhere else where it's more. That's what Target said last year. And I'm not advocating these people leaving. I'm not happy about it at all because I love the sport of NASCAR, but it is what it is. And so Lowe's has stepped away and said coming up, they're going to stay with them this year, but 2019, they've got to find a new sponsor. And I think you told me with the last couple of visits, a sponsor is anywhere from what, $10 to $15 million?
Yeah, for a whole season like that, I would imagine it's probably more like in the 20 million, range or so.
How many of those are out there hanging around you can go out and sign?
There's not too many of those, really. I mean, not very many companies that are willing to take that big of a plunge. I think that's, one thing we've seen, and it's actually hurt the sport, I think, the last few years, where you'll have and I know he's not racing this year, but Matt Kenseth came to mind with, he'd have Home Depot on his car some weeks, he would have Dollar General, then he'd have maybe Hisense, and, he'd have all these different sponsors.
Piecemeal.
Piecemeal together, and you don't really get like back in the day you could buy like paraphernalia, you would have like the same color combination and all that, So,
good point.
And now you might show up in the track and you'll have a Kyle Busch, M&M's thing, and then he's driving the double mint car that week.
We're talking again to our buddy Jeff Birchfield. Chad Fletcher says, by the way, come see us at Kingsport Speedway today. Open practice from 2 till 6. We're going to have tomorrow, the drivers at Food City on Eastman Road, Robbie Ferguson and Rick Pinnell are going to be there tomorrow to talk to us. Grandstand's open to the public. First race of the season coming up a week from Saturday on the 24th. Come support your local track and teams. And so Chad Fletcher says, hey, great photographer with the sport of auto racing. Also, the Milligan swim coach, the lovely Kelly Essler's watching us. Hello, Coach. Hope you're having a great day. We're talking to our buddy Jeff Birchfield. Speaking of NASCAR, speaking of Bristol, this coming Wednesday, a week from last night, this coming Wednesday, Austin and Ty Dillon's going to be at Bass Pro Shop in Bristol to help promote coming up the race, obviously. They're going to be there along with racing team owner Don Schumacher and driver Tony Schumacher, Leah Pritchett, and Matt Hagan from the NHRA series. So all this is going to be happening at the Bass Pro Shop at the Pinnacle in Bristol next Wednesday, or this coming Wednesday night at 6:30, followed by the Feuding Families Bristol edition. So that's all coming up again this coming Wednesday. That's pretty cool, have all those guys coming to town to sign autographs.
It is. It's a great opportunity for the fans. A lot of that stuff's interactive, so I know they want the fans to, be a part of it and participate in some games and have a chance to win some prizes.
All right, I'm going to ask this guy. He has forgotten more NASCAR than most of us know. I don't get it. It's every week. Loose lug nuts. Here's another report. Chase Elliott's team, again, a rear suspension violation following last weekend's race at Phoenix. So that cost him 25 driver points, 25 owner points. Crew chief Alan Gustafson has been fined $50,000. Car chief Josh Kirk has been suspended for 2 races. There also, and I didn't print it off, but there was like 3 or 4 other drivers, again, had loose lug nuts post-race inspection at Phoenix. Explain that to me. I don't get that. How do they do it? Why do they continue to do it, knowing they're going to get penalized to drive out of the pits with loose lug nuts or no lug nuts?
I think a lot of times on that is honestly just a mistake where the driver gets in too big of a hurry, or the crew signals before they have the lug nuts fastened like they really need to, and I think a lot of times that's just human error. And there's with shims, they're talking about with the trailing arm with Chase Elliott's team, so and face it too, the teams do try to get an advantage any way they can,
And so these drivers have got fined. And of course, which race was it where Kyle Busch came out of the pits and the whole wheel fell off? That was at Las Vegas, wasn't it? In the truck race? Am I right?
Yeah, I believe you are correct on that.
Yeah, the whole wheel fell off and had to back up, put the wheel on. So, there was a chewing going on after that race. So, anyway, they head off to Auto Club Speedway this weekend in Fontana for the Auto Club 400. Kevin Harvick, the hottest guy on the circuit, trying, speaking of Jimmy Johnson, be the first guy since Johnson won 4 in a row. Can he do it at this track?
He definitely can. He's only won 1 time there before. And I wouldn't call Kevin maybe the favorite this week. I'd probably go with a guy more like Kyle Larson or one of those guys. But he's definitely capable of it, and those Fords are, running great, obviously, this early part of the season.
Third consecutive Monster Energy Cup Series win for Kevin Harvick. He's trying to be the first driver since Johnson in 2007 to win 4 straight. Harvick won there in 2011 and scored back-to-back runner-ups in 2015 and 2016. In 24 starts of the track, Kevin Harvick has 6 top 5s and 11 top 10 finishes to go with the win. So pretty consistent, but you also got to bring in, you got to throw in Kyle Larson, as you said. He dominated the race last year, winning from the pole, leading 110 out of the 202 laps, so this guy can do it. You got to look at Kyle Busch. It's been very strong, hitting a lot of runner-up finishes. And then I guess you got to look at Jimmy Johnson, too. He's got 6 victories there. He's the current driver, the most wins at California, so there's several folks you can throw in there, huh?
Yeah, and I mean, you've seen it before in the sport. It seems like when a team is really faced with a lot of adversity, like, Jimmy Johnson getting that news this week, they'll step up and there's just something about, in every sport you see this, people just sort of take their performance to the next level. A lot of times when they're faced with bad situations like that, they a lot of times turn a negative into a positive.
6 drivers in the series this weekend will be in the racing, saying California's their home. Cole Custer, Ryan Reed, Dylan Lupton, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, and Kevin Harvick. Harvick's from Bakersfield, and so these guys will be going after it. We'll talk more tomorrow with Mike, our buddy Mike Edrick, for the preview of the report for the racing this weekend. You also have, see, who's doing double duty this weekend? I read that. It's got it highlighted here. Logano's going to be doing double duty, and Austin Dillon's going to be running in the Xfinity Series race as well. Everybody else is going to opt just to stay for the big race. Then we come back to Martinsville. Then we head off to Texas, and we come back to Bristol. So this is the last of the three race West Coast swing for the Cup drivers and the Xfinity drivers and the truck drivers, and they all come back our way, right?
Yeah, all come back our way, and thank goodness they're coming to Martinsville. I mean, I hope I'm wrong about this, but California typically is not a great race. I think last year actually was, or a couple of years ago, really, I remember a couple pretty exciting races, but typically California is one of those tracks where they do get strung out a lot, so I'm ready to see them come back to the short tracks.
By the way, Wednesday night at the Bass Pro Shop at the Pinnacle is a BMS, Bristol Motor Speedway season preview. It's free and open to the public. Starts at 6:30 this coming Wednesday night, so be sure and take that in. And, again, Austin Dillon will be there to sign autographs. Ty Dillon. Also, looks like Mike Dillon will be there, the RCR Vice President of Business Development. And then also the NHRA will be there with Don Schumacher and Tony and Leah Pritchett and Matt Hagan at the event. So that's all coming up this coming Wednesday at Bass Pro Shops at the Pinnacle in Bristol. We're here live at Freddy's in North Johnson City. Again, Freddy's, love the Freddy's food. I'm going to eat myself when I get done here, and we'll talk more about Freddy's here in just a second. Well, we can talk about it right now. If you have an event coming up you'd like to have catered, they do a lot of catering, particularly in the summertime. They can bring the Sunday bar out. They can bring the sandwiches out, whatever you need, or the sundaes. All you have to do is give them a call and say, here's what I need. Can you help me? And let it go from there. 282-1114 is the number to call. Freddy's Frozen Custard. Our buddy Randall Jenkins, he had to go off to a meeting, and so couldn't be here today. So said, tell him about a big guy, and I can't do it like he can do it. I'm giving you the best I can. But I can tell you, I'm here 2 or 3 times a week eating myself. I love the food here at Freddy's, and I just love the music, the 50s, oldies music, and it's just good. I like it all the way around.
Hey, since we were talking racing and Sundays, I have to say, Sunday.
Okay. Sunday. Gotcha. All right, let's take a look at girls basketball. The Northeast Tennessee, all Northeast Tennessee team. We talked about the boys earlier. Let's talk about the ladies, would you please?
Yeah, definitely. Macy Culberson, Daniel Boone, she was our player of the year, led the Trailblazers, to 30 wins this season, to the state tournament. So did a terrific job. Then the coach of the year, like I was talking earlier, come down between Travis Maines from Boone and Kenneth Chambers from Unaco, were our 2 guys we considered the heaviest. And, we gave it to Travis. Like I said, 3 of Boone's 5 losses were to either Riverdale or Bradley Central. Then was looking here, our underclassmen, we were Sheila Greenlee of Science Hill. She's a terrific player. And then the defensive player of the year is Taylor Sanders from Sullivan Central. And then going down that list to the first team, Cheyenne Tooley of Hampton, terrific player, terrific senior season. Courtney Whitson of Dobbins Bennett, who's, moved up on, I think she's number 3 now on their all-time scoring list. She's just a junior. And then you've got Abby Crawford from Sullivan Central, really good player as well. Haley Paget from Unicoi County, I saw her play. She's pretty tough inside. And then my Parlier from Unaka had a really couple of great games down there at the state tournament and stuff, particularly the first game, where they beat Wartburg Central.
So you look for next year, you look, Daniel Boone should be strong. I'm doing this off the top of my head. Dobbins Middle should be strong. I watched again on the AA level, Sullivan Central. Abby Crawford can play. That is a good team Coach Walling's got there at Sullivan Central. And then I had earlier in the week, 2 days ago, I had the coaches, Coach Morlock and Coach Jared Harrison from the Holston Middle School Lady Eagles State Championship girls basketball team, all 8th graders. Most of them are going to be moving up to Central. So I look for Central to be very strong in AA hoops.
I think so. I mean, they picked a good time really to fall down to AA, but I think even in AAA next year they might be the team to beat with who all they've got back, and stuff. Like on that second team there, we've got Peyton Sams, who's also from Central, and then, of course, then we had Sydney Pierce from Boone and Elijah Smith from Science Hill, Trinity Vines from Cloudland, and Lexi Garland from Unaka. But, I think the girls' hoop's going to be good around here. Daniel Boone does get hit pretty hard with graduation, but they've got a lot of good players back. Like I said, J.C. Jenkins, Bailey Carmichael, some girls who just barely missed making our team. And then, you think about Science Hill next year. They played a lot of their season without their point guard, Aliana Hill, and they get her back, and then, they've got Elijah Smith and Greenlee and some others. They should be really good next year as well.
We're talking again to Jeff Birchfield. Don't forget, coming up tonight, let's see if I've got it on the screen. We were going to be live at Meadowview tonight. Did I put that on there? I can't remember if I did or not. I did not. But we are going to be live tonight. We're going to be at B&H Wealth Strategies March Madness Party. It's a private party. We're going to be there doing our show, getting a chance to meet Jeff Bingham, one of our new sponsors, and a lot of his folks are going to be over there. They're going to have 4 TVs going. We got 16 games cranking up, starting in about 15 minutes. The first of many. We're getting ready to get into March Madness here with Jeff in just a second. We'll be there tonight from 6 to 8, broadcasting live again from Meadowview with the B&H Wealth Strategies March Madness bracketing party. Got 4 TVs up there, got food going on, and so I'm going to eat good and watch hoops and talk sports. Can't beat that, can you?
Can't beat that, definitely.
I can't wait. Looking forward to being over there. That'll be tonight from 6 to 8 o'clock. So here we go. March Madness. Let's jump in here and go. First off, did you fill out your bracket? And who do you have as the Final Four?
My Final Four, I had Virginia, North Carolina, Villanova, and I think actually I picked 3 ACC teams. I went with Duke. As much as I hate Duke, I still thought they would probably make it there.
Now, why do you hate Duke?
Because I'm a Carolina fan. I
Gotcha.
love the Tar Heels.
Enough said. Tar Heels, they're coming in as the number 2 seed. They'll play Lipscomb. They'll play, I believe that's tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Tomorrow
at 2:45. He knew that. He knew exactly when they're playing. So, any surprises for you in the bracketing? I know we're getting ready to crank up now, and it's kind of an afterthought. I know a lot of discussion all week long, but we haven't had you on the show till today. So, any discussion in your mind about guys that should have been in and teams that didn't get in?
Yeah, I think too is, and I was in Murfreesboro last week, but Middle Tennessee State, it hurt them losing early in their tournament. They definitely should have gotten in. And I think St. Mary's of California, they had the long winning streak. They had the longest winning streak in the country before ETSU did. And then ETSU, of course, had it there for a day. And, I think both of those teams probably should have made it in the NCAA.
All right, here we go. I'm going to run them down for you, see what you think. First game up, Oklahoma, Rhode Island.
I sort of go with Rhode Island on that. I know Oklahoma struggled at the end of the season.
12:40 coming up in about 40 minutes from now. They'll tip it up in Dallas. Rick Barnes, what a job he's done. The number 3 seed, Tennessee, taking on the 14 seed Wright State. Tennessee wins this one?
Yeah, I like the Vols in that one.
All right, how far do you think Tennessee can go?
I've got them in the Sweet 16, I think.
Okay. And then on the other side of the bracket, let's take the other regional team of interest, the Hokies of Virginia Tech. What about them? How far can they go? They got Alabama coming up tonight at 9:20.
I think they'll go beat Alabama, but I actually got them losing in the second round because I've got Villanova winning it all in my bracket.
There you go. All right. More games today. UNC Greensboro and Gonzaga. Gonzaga number 4, UNC Greensboro number 13 in the West Regional.
Yeah, and I've got Gonzaga going all the way to the Elite 8, but the problem is that's a tough matchup. I saw UNC Greensboro firsthand, how they shut the Bucks down in that Southern Conference Championship game.
Midwest Regional coming up, and we're doing this chronologically at 2 o'clock. Kansas, the Jayhawks taking on the Penn Quakers out of the Midwest. All Kansas.
All Kansas, although I have heard some of the experts say that they thought this was maybe the 16-1 game where they could see Penn being an Ivy League team and the style they play maybe pull off a massive upset there.
2:45 this afternoon. Number 2 Duke against Iona in the Midwest, playing that one in Pittsburgh. Dukey's all the way.
Yeah, Dukey on that.
Does that pain you to say that?
Not really. I mean, not this early. Now, if they win the national championship, it'll pain you.
It'll pain me. They say, statistically speaking, went back and did a little research, the bracket game that has the most upsets, number 6 versus number 11 throughout the years. Number 6 at 3:10 this afternoon in Dallas. Miami of Florida taking on Loyola of Chicago, the number 11 seed in the South Regional. How do you see that one?
Well, you know, everyone's picking Loyola and the upset on that, but I've actually been going with the higher seeds a lot. I've seen that Miami team play, and they're pretty athletic, so I'm going with Miami in that one.
Boise, Idaho, 4 o'clock, West Regional, 5th-ranked Ohio State, who I think is overrated. 12th-ranked South Dakota State. Buckeyes or South Dakota State?
Well, that is in Boise, and that's pretty close to South Dakota State, but that being said, I do think Ohio State survives that one.
This one coming up should be a dandy. Seton Hall, 8th seed, North Carolina State, 9th seed in the Midwest Regional at 4:30 in Wichita. That could be a good ball game.
That should be a really good game. I sort of like the Wolfpack in that one, though. I think NC State's a really good team this year.
Top-ranked Villanova in the East will take on Radford. Again, the 16th seed will be starting the night sessions tonight at 6:50 in Pittsburgh. Villanova all the way.
Yeah, Villanova all the way on that one.
All right, John Calipari complaining. We win the Southeastern Conference tournament. Why do we go to Boise, Idaho as the 5th seed? That's where they are, taking on 12th seeded Davidson out of the South Regional. And Boise at 7:10 tonight. Kentucky, can they survive this one?
They can survive it, but I mean, Davidson is a scary team because, you know, even going back to Steph Curry days and before, that's always a team that shoots the ball well.
And they have nothing to lose and everything to gain if you're Davidson.
Nothing to lose on that one.
You got it. Then you've got, coming up, as we said, the other 6 and 11 seed, Houston number 6, San Diego State number 11. What do you think of that one?
That's one I think I am going with the upset. I believe the Aztecs of San Diego State may pull that one off.
Then you have the number 3 seed, Texas Tech, number 14 seed, Stephen F. Austin in the East Regional.
That's another one I think could be a potential upset, but I do believe Texas Tech will survive that.
And then you have in Pittsburgh the East Regional. There's another, well, we took the Hokies. I'm going for the Hokies, number 8 against Alabama, number 9. We agreed on that one. The South Regional coming up tonight at 9:40. Number 4 Arizona, number 13 Buffalo. Some say Arizona's the team to beat.
Yeah, and I actually put them in my national championship game, and then I got a little cold feet on Arizona. I know they're going through a lot of the stuff with that investigation with Sean Miller and all, but I do think they'll win that early round game for sure. 2
more chronologically, 10 o'clock tonight. Number 3 Michigan and number 14 Montana, the West Regional in Wichita. Wolverines all the way.
Well, since Dave Unge's over here pointing his fist at both of us as we pick against the Wolverines.
I got a menacing stare just now, so
yeah, we better go with the Wolverines.
We better go with the Wolverines. There we go. And then the last one, Florida, who I think is going to get beat. St. Bonaventure, the number 11 seed against the Gators, number 6 seed tonight at 10 o'clock in Dallas, Texas. I'm just not sold on Florida. What do you think?
I do think they've got enough to win this game, so I'll say chomp on that one.
All right, there you go. We'll see. And that's all just today. And so when it's all said and done, who do you think is going to win the whole enchilada?
Well, I have my final 4 is Villanova and Duke and North Carolina and Virginia. And I'm going with Carolina playing Virginia the 3rd time this season to beat them.
There you
and
go.
then I think, and maybe I'm being a little bit of a Carolina homer on that. But then also Villanova, I think, is a better team than Duke. And then I like Villanova to win it all. I think they're the best team out there.
All right. Hello to Randall Perry watching. Thank you, Randall Perry, for watching the show. Appreciate you very much.
Another great motorsports photographer. We got the great motorsports photographers watching.
There you go. Chad Fletcher and Randall Perry watching.
Hard to beat those two.
No, they're good ones. They're nice ones, as they say. Yeah. They're like a Japanese car. They're nice ones. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back. I appreciate you, man. What do you want to leave us with?
Definitely, we didn't talk one thing about the ETSU
women's
team, so they go play James Madison tonight in the women's NIT. Tough challenge for them, but, you know, a winnable game for sure, even though James Madison's got some height advantage and stuff like that. So it's going to be a tough game, too.
The WNIT, Lady Bucks at 20-12, the Lady Dukes of James Madison at 21-10. We'll tip it up at 7:05 tonight in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Get you some lunch, my friend.
All right,
appreciate you very much. And we'll take a break. We'll be right back. We'll go to the phone, talk to Man Carmichael next. We're live here at Freddy's in North Johnson City on show 709 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City is starting off 2018 with monster savings on over 350 new Chevrolets to choose from. Take advantage of these awesome savings for a limited time only. Silverado Crew and Double Cabs, $10,000 off MSRP. 17 Spark, $11,995. 18 Equinox, $19,995. 17 Traverse, $28,995. 17 Corvette, 20% off MSRP. Shop us online 24/7 and don't forget our Saturday parts and service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
The savings continue in the month of February at Max Medicine in Kingsport. All natural factors 20% off. Folic acid, CoQ10, apple cider vinegar capsules, B12. They're all on sale. Anything natural factors, all 20% off the month of February at Max Medicine Mart. No coupons, no limits. It's a flat 20% off anytime you buy natural factors in February at Max Medicine Mart. Max Medicine Mart, Center Street, Kingsport. Natural factors 20% off in February. Make tracks to Max Medicine Mart.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back on the Tom Douglas Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We're live at Freddy's here in North Johnson City again on this kind of a blustery, cool day, although it's warming up from what we've had, I can tell you that. Let's go to the phone. He's our buddy Carmichael, who normally joins us, and today he's got us by phone, and we appreciate that. Good afternoon, my friend. How are you?
Now, I'm doing fine. It's much faster than yesterday morning. Yesterday, about, say, 27 hours ago.
It's a little cool.
My normal 1 hour and 15-minute commute from Black Mountain to Johnson City took 2 hours and a half.
Wow.
I had sled dogs at the end of my car instead of just a regular Toyota Prius.
There you go. So let's jump in and go. We're going to we'll talk basketball in a few minutes. Let's talk NASCAR. Lowe's comes out and says they're dropping Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion, after this year, losing a major sponsor of the sport, a major sponsor of the number one driver in the sport, Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion. What's this say to you, Carmichael, about Lowe's dropping NASCAR?
This says a lot. This is a huge. If NASCAR doesn't get this message quickly, they're going to have some problems, because when a sponsorship like Lowe's decides to drop Jimmy Johnson, and I mean they're not just dropping the driver; they're getting out of the sport entirely. They've got to wake up and try to see they're losing an audience. They're losing numbers. I'm not sure what the ratings were this week, but I know the Daytona 500 was one of the lowest rated Daytona 500s ever. And this has to tell them something about their product right now.
Well, but on the flip side, I know things are going pretty well at Bristol, which is a good thing because that's coming up in 31 days, the Food City 500. Ironically enough, the 500 is defending champion will be Jimmy Johnson. So we'll talk more about the tickets again coming up there in a moment. So NASCAR, of course, we'll talk. Let's talk about it now. They're heading to Fontana this weekend, and the winningest driver, no question, the hottest driver on the circuit is Kevin Harvick. Can he be one of those guys, becomes a 4-time winner on the circuit, 4 races in a row? You think it's possible?
It's possible. He's got, right now, there's nobody that really has an answer for him on the track. So, yes, it's possible for him to do well and to win a 4th straight race. I mean, this is right there in that when that run years ago Harry Gann had back 25, 26 years ago. This is reminding me of what happened during that time period.
Exactly. We're talking to Carmichael with us on the phone. We're live here again at Freddy's in North Johnson City on this Thursday. Coming up, Dave Angie joins us at the bottom of the hour. Hello to Alicia Phelps from the Northeast Tennessee from Netta. I want to say hello to my buddy Alicia Phelps, who's a big Kyle Busch fan. So, again, this sends shockwaves across NASCAR. Also, the fact that Monster Energy has not come back and said we will continue to be the title sponsor of this sport. Unfortunately, this may be a negative draw on other sponsors saying, wait a minute, if Lowe's is pulling, and Target pulled on Kyle Larson's ride in the off season, maybe we need to take another look at our sponsorship. So this could be a ripple effect. This could be very scary and not good for NASCAR.
I mean, when you're seeing the number of cars go down each and every, now they couldn't even, have a 43-car field for the Daytona 500. So they've had trouble getting filling races. I think it was 2 weeks ago they only had 36 cars for the race. I mean that's something that NASCAR has to take a look at, and maybe we either need to reduce the number of our cars that we have each week, or something. But this is definitely should be a wake-up call to all of the people in Charlotte and Daytona here in this week.
We're talking to Carmichael. We are live again. We're live here at Freddy's in North Johnson City, and again we are talking. Let's switch gears and talk into hoops because it's starting up in about 3 or 4 minutes. First of 16 games of March Madness, Oklahoma, Rhode Island. Let's take a look. First off, let's step back. Who did not get in the big show? I know it's after the fact now, but who didn't get in you felt like should have gotten in, and who got in and wasn't worthy of being there?
Well, I mean, you had to look at those. When you look at who maybe got in that shouldn't have got in, you kind of look at those last 4 teams. I mean, UCLA was the team I thought all along should have got in. They were an 11 seed. Arizona State was one that was also on the bubble. Oklahoma was the one that was on the bubble, and they were a 10 seed. I mean, a lot of people, especially how Oklahoma played down the stretch. I mean, Florida State was another one. I mean, 9 teams out of the ACC, really? You really needed 9 teams out of that league? Some of the conferences have to step up. Louisville lost its chance blowing that 4-point lead in the last second against Virginia. Had Louisville won that game, they would have been in. Southern Cal probably needed to have beaten Arizona to have gotten it. Now it wasn't back at. They would have needed to have won that game to have gotten in the tournament. But who thought? A lot of people thought Southern Cal would have made it. Didn't play as well in the NIT. So it's teams like that. Those last 4, you're always going to have an argument for or against. I mean, that's what, the tournament right now, I don't know if 68 is the answer. Maybe they need to go up to look at 72. Maybe they need to look at 76 to try to see, how many teams exactly do you really need in the tournament.
We're talking to our buddy Carmichael. We're live here at Freddy's in North Johnson City. We'll talk more about Freddy's coming up here in a moment. Let's break down the East Regional. Number 1, Villanova. Number 2, Purdue. Number 3, Texas Tech. Number 4, Wichita State. How do you like the East Regional? Who do you think is going to be a surprise, and who do you think is going to win it?
The East, Villanova, I think, really has a chance. I thought they've been one of the better teams all along through this year. They've struggled. They've stumbled here a little bit down in a couple of places, but Villanova's one. I tell you, teams do not sleep on just because of their experience in the tournament and because of their coaching, and that's Florida. You know, Florida's not had the best years, but I think they've got an excellent head coach. I think it's a team that could surprise some people. I'm not, you know, Purdue is the number 2 seed. That was a team I thought that was completely overseeded, especially, I mean, they played better during the middle part of the year, but their beginning of the year and their end of the year was a stumble for them. You know, I'm interested in that East. If West Virginia beats Murray State, and I think Marshall could upset, or Thundering Herd could upset Wichita State. Wouldn't that be a nice round of 32 matchup, West Virginia and Marshall? I mean, sometimes I think the NCAA has looked at some of these first and possible second-round matchups as possible, you know, things that could happen that normally dream matchups that don't happen during the regular season.
We're talking to our buddy Carmichael, and of course I'm pulling for the Thundering Herd. They're the 13th seed at 24-10. They'll play tomorrow at 1:30 in San Diego against Wichita State. Obviously I'm pulling for the upset, and then I want to play West Virginia, who has Murray State on the other side of the bracket tomorrow at 4 o'clock. They would obviously play on Sunday, the two winners. I'm liking Butler. I don't know why. The 10th seed, the Butler Bulldogs at 20-13. I think that's a team you got to watch. I think they're going to make some noise. I've got them getting to the Sweet 16, and what's your take on Butler at 20-13, the 10th seed?
I like Butler. I like Butler as well. I'm not completely sold on Arkansas. I've watched Arkansas play a couple of times. They've got some good athletes, but I think Butler's a team that could get them. I think in most of my brackets that I did, I had Butler getting to the Sweet 16. I had Butler winning that opening game and beating Purdue. I just think Purdue was way overrated this year, and so I really in that East regional, I like Villanova. Like I said, Villanova to play Florida in the finals in the East.
Let's take a look at the Midwest regional. Top-seeded Kansas. Let's run the top 4 seeds. Number 1, Kansas. Number 2, Duke. Number 3, Michigan State. Number 4, of course, will be Auburn. I think Auburn's overrated at number 4. What's your take in the Midwest regional? Who do you think is going to win it?
I think Michigan State. That was one of the teams I thought had a chance. I picked them to go to the Final Four early in the year. I like Michigan State with a chance to win the national championship. I like them in this regional. I think Charleston will beat Auburn. I think that is what, there's always that 4-13 upset or that 5-12. In this region, I like, the 2 high seeds, New Mexico State and Charleston, to pull the upset to advance to the round of 32. I look at Duke and Michigan State in the bottom of that bracket. I think Michigan State wins that region, beats Kansas in the Midwest Finals.
Interesting game in 4:30 today. Seton Hall and North Carolina State, 8 versus 9. Who'd you take in that one, North Carolina State or the Seton Hall Pirates?
I went with Seton Hall.
I did too.
I mean, that's another one of those toss-up games, but I went with Seton Hall to win the game.
We're talking to Carmichael coming up. Dave Angie joins us with the News and Neighbor. We're live again. We're here at Freddy's in North Johnson City, and get a little lunch crowd in here again on this Thursday, March the 15th. The starting of March Madness. It tipped up about 3 or 4 minutes ago. We'll keep you posted. Game 1 out of the Midwest. 7th seed Rhode Island, 10th seed Oklahoma. Playing that one in Pittsburgh to get it all started. 16 today, 16 games tomorrow, and then it whittles it down. So we'll keep on top of it as best we can. And so let's go to the South Regional. Top-seeded Virginia, number 2 seed Cincinnati, number 3 Tennessee, number 4 Arizona, and hanging out there number 5 Kentucky. So how do you like the South Regional? Who's going to win it and who's going to surprise us?
Arizona. That's been I really think Arizona is the team to win that region. I think they've got one of the best players in the tournament. I think they're a team that's on a mission with everything that's been, all the negative stuff that has gone on with their program in the last month or so, how they were able to focus and pull it together and win the Pac-12 championship. I like Arizona to win that region, to take Kentucky out in the round of 32, to beat Virginia in the Sweet 16, and then to beat Cincinnati in the finals of the South.
And so that's what you've got going to the South. All right, the argument, John Calipari says, hey, look, we won the Southeastern Conference tournament. We're Kentucky. We get a 5th seed in Boise, Idaho against Davidson. He was upset about that. Is it justified?
No, he's not just because they played well for a couple of days in the tournament. You don't look at what they've done all year long. They've struggled all year long. They've struggled since game 1. I mean, they struggled in the conference. They could have gotten a better seed had they played better in the regular season, and they didn't play better in the regular season. They struggled in the conference. They struggled during the non-conference schedule. So, no, I think he doesn't have an argument. He's like I said, he's lucky to get a 5 seed. And even then, he gets Arizona, which I think that was one that, like, okay, we're going to put somebody up against you that's going to shut your mouth early.
Tennessee against Wright State coming up here in about 25, 30 minutes or so or less. Can the Big Orange win this one? How deep can they go in your bracket?
Oh, yeah. I think in my bracket, they play in the Sweet 16, and Cincinnati beat them. But some people, I know Tom Crean was one, that the former Indiana coach, he picked Tennessee to go to the Final Four. And there's some people from ESPN that think Tennessee really has a chance this year, definitely to get to the Final 8 and possibly to get to the Final 4. I mean, it's a team with really no superstars, no, NBA guys are going to play in the NBA on a regular basis, but they're a really good team. And sometimes a really good team in a tournament like this can advance. And if you had asked Tennessee fans this beginning of the season, would you take this being in a number 3 seed in the South? They would have thought you were crazy. And here they are. So, to me, anything can happen, especially once if you can win that first game and get into the round of 32, then anything is possible.
Talking some baseball in just a second. Some big signings since last week when we had Carmichael on. Next week we'll be back at Champion Chevrolet. We're at Freddy's here in North Johnson City. Final regional, the West Regional, Xavier number 1. Number 2, of course, will be the defending national champion, North Carolina Tar Heels. Michigan at number 3 and number 4 seed, Gonzaga. I've got my eye on Gonzaga. I think they're going to go deep in the tournament. What's your take on the West Regional?
That's my team to win it in the West is Gonzaga. I think Xavier is taken out. I think Missouri beats Florida State, and I think Missouri takes Xavier out. Getting their freshman back that's been out most of the year. Right now here at tournament time, this is a team basically that knows they've just got a bunch of one-and-done players, and they're not, they know they're not coming back next year, so they're in it to try to win now. I think Missouri does and advances on to play Gonzaga in the Sweet 16. You like the Carolina-Michigan matchup in the other half of the Sweet 16 in the West. I think Carolina wins that. And then I think Gonzaga gets revenge from the national title game last year and beats North Carolina to win the West.
We're talking to our buddy Carmichael. We're live here at Freddy's. The NIT doing some tweaking. What do you think about the tweaking? 3-point line back 20 inches. Free throw line widened to 4 feet to meet the NBA regulations. They've gone from 2:20s to 4:10 10-minute quarters. Shot clock resets to 20 seconds instead of 30 after offensive rebounds. They're tweaking, experimenting. What do you think about all this?
And I like it because right now the NCAA men's basketball is the only basketball on earth that still plays 2 halves. Well, other than Park and Rec men's adult basketball, but the NBA, but everybody in the world plays 4 quarters. The NCAA women's basketball plays 4 quarters. You play 4 quarters in high school. You play 4 quarters in the pros. I think this is a change. If it doesn't happen this year, I think you will see this in the next couple of years coming down the line, where men's college basketball adapts to the 4 quarters instead of the 2 halves. And I like the rule.
We're talking to Carmichael. Before we let him go, let's take a look real quick at baseball. Jake Arrieta now Philadelphia Philly. What's that do to that rotation? Lynn signed. Moustakas has signed since last week. What's that do to the free agent market? Who's left, I guess I should say. And what's that do to the teams these guys have signed with?
Well, Philadelphia, it makes them now a possible contender in the East. I really thought Philadelphia's year next year was going to be 2019, that the window would. But this year, the window really kind of opens for Philadelphia. They've got a lot of young players. They've still got some players in their systems come up that could possibly get them. And this year is a big year for Washington because the window's about to close on the Washington Nationals. So, but I look for this Arrieta signing key this year, but really I think it's more looking towards next year. But Philadelphia now believes with him they got a chance to make playoffs. If not win the division, be a wild card team at least.
There you go. And so our Reds, they're 6-13. What are we doing in Cincinnati? Just waiting it out.
It's see if anybody will take Joe Gatto. See what you can get. I mean, this year I know he has said in the past he really doesn't want to leave Cincinnati, but you're not building anything. It seems like around him, and he's not getting any younger. He's 34, almost 35. And would a contender give you some pieces for him at the end, it's trade deadline. I think the Reds have to consider that if he starts out hot again at the beginning of this year. I think they've got to look at trying to see if they can move him and get some pieces to continue the rebuilding, because they're as the old saying goes, we finish last with you, we're going to finish last. We can finish last without you.
There you go. Good way to look at it. My man Carmichael, anything you want to leave us with today, my friend?
We'll get Park and Recreation still sign up for girls softball. $25 for Johnson City residents, $30 for non-residents for T-ball ages 4, 5, and 6, for girls machine pitch ages 7 and 8, and girls softball ages 9 and 10. And still looking for referees for soccer. We had an official meeting last night, but still looking for soccer referees. If you're interested, if you're 16, have some knowledge of the sport, can pass a background check, you can come by our office at Mean Deer Park between the 4 softball fields, the athletics office, or you can give us a call at 283-5822.
There you go. And the game's underway, and it's Rhode Island early, obviously, leading Oklahoma 9-8 in the Midwest Region first round between Rhode Island and the Oklahoma Sooners. Carmichael, great report, my friend. Enjoy your week. I'll see you next Thursday. We're ready to go at Champion Chevrolet, all right?
Yes, sir. We'll see you next Thursday. Thanks.
Yep. Great job, our buddy Carmichael. Appreciate him very much. By phone today, he had to stay home and do some things, and I totally get that. We're live here again at Freddy's in North Johnson City. Before we go to the break and we get Dave Angie on, we want to tell you about the good folks at Champion Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer in the state. Nobody sells more Chevrolets from Memphis to Mountain City than Champion Chevrolet. They got the 17s out there, and they're moving them, getting rid of them. They got to roll them out of there. For example, the 2017 Silverado Crew Cab All-Stars, $12,000 off MSRP. As soon as you walk on the lot, you say, I'm looking at that crew cab, you just know there's going to be $12,000 taken right off the top of the MSRP of a 2017 Silverado Crew Cab. The Corvettes, 2017 Corvettes, 20% off MSRP. You can do the math. If you take let's say it's a $50,000 car. I don't know what they are. 50,000 times 20%, that's $10,000 right off the top. Sparks, 2017 Sparks, $10,995. 2000 Traverses, $6,000 off MSRP. And also the 2017 1500 regular cab pickup, $22,995. Again, Saturday parts and service hours, Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where Tim and the folks simply say, leave you asking, how do they do that? Because they flat move the machines. And again, a 2017 Silverado Crew Cab, All-Star, $12,000 as soon as you walk on the lot and start asking and inquiring about it. It's pretty strong. So that is what it's all about, and we're very excited about that. We're here thanks to the folks at Sprint. We've got the Magic Box here behind us, working like a charm. And so at Sprint, 25% off everything as far as accessories in the store. The Beats headphones, regular $249, 25% off when you say you heard the show. Earbuds, $149 regular price on the Beats headphones, 25% off that, a fourth of it off when you say you've heard the show or watched the show. And also you have the pop sockets for $9.99 or $10, less 25%. Tablet cases, battery packs, wireless charging stands, JBL Clip Plus portable Bluetooth speakers, Urban Armor Gear cases, outer box cases for your phone, any screen protector with tempered glass are all 25% off when you say you've heard the show at Sprint. Also, they have right now going on, how about this, the brand new one out, the S9 and S9 Plus, $350 trade-in credit towards an S9 or S9 Plus, the qualifying trade-ins. Also, right now, they own the iPhone 8 or 8 Plus at Sprint. Lease one and get one. For everyone you lease, you get one free. Lease one and get one from Sprint. And also right now you have the unlimited 5 for $100 with auto pay. 5 lines for $100 with auto pay. And all that again happening at Sprint. And don't forget, you have the free LG G-Pad 2.0 tablet like I've got right here. I'm watching the show on. Let's put it up here on the camera. I think you can see it. There you go. See there? Watching the show as we speak and saying hello to Chad Fletcher, Alicia Phelps, Randall Perry, Betty Perry, some of the folks watching the show, thank you. So Sprint, you go to Sprint and say you've seen the show, heard the show, they'll give you 25% off any accessory you want. in the store. Quick break. We'll be right back for one of our great sponsors, Movement Mortgage, right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Dave Onge joins us next here on show 709, live from Freddy's in North Johnson City. With one of our great sponsors again here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, our dear friend Jeremy Livesey from Movement Mortgage. See behind us the JeremyLivesey.com and 671. This is a neat process. It's working big time for the organization. Tell me about it.
Well, basically, our 6-hour underwriting process just basically revolutionizes the area because not any other lenders are doing that. And our 7-day processing period just means that we're getting everything processes in 7 days and then 1 day to close. So once everything's final approved, it gets to the title company in 1 day.
The first number we're talking about is 6. What's that represent?
6 is from the time that we take the loan application and we submit it to the underwriting team, whatever you want to call them. About 6 hours later, we get our approval.
Here he goes.
So, yeah.
That's 6. The middle number is 7. Tell me about that.
7 is once the underwriter approves the loan, then they send us the condition sheets, and between me and my assistant and our processor, we have 7 days to get all the documents and everything back to the underwriter for our final approval.
And then the last number out of 671 would be just numero uno.
Yeah, just the 1. So once everything is done, then the closer for our team will package up everything that needs to be done at the title company for the legal part with the deed and deed of trust and notes and all that stuff. Sends all that to them, gets all the money ready, send it to them so we can close.
Website is Jeremy Livesey, Livesey, JeremyLivesey.com. VA loans, tell me about that from Movement Mortgage and Jeremy Livesey.
Yeah, this area is very good for VAs just because of the VA med centers here, and most of the people like to retire in this area, and a lot of them are veterans. So we offer 100% financing with no mortgage insurance to them. Still can close in 30 days or less. So I mean, it's not a big deal for them. And on our end, we enjoy it because we've got it down to a science. So.
Number 2, the FHA loan. Tell me about that.
FHA, it's more for people with less money to put down. Sometimes they do have some credit issues or just debt to income issues. And depending on where they're wanting to buy at, there are some different grant programs available as well. So we do a lot of the FHAs. This area is just a hotbed for FHAs just because of the, East Tennessee. We got a lot of younger people buying. A lot of people that just don't have a lot of money to put down. They don't have the 20% down like they used to have to get to buy a house. So.
JeremyLivesey.com is a website you want to go to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll let you know what's there here in just a moment when you get there. USDA loans, tell me about those.
USDA or the rural development loans, that's basically for the county, and they offer 100% financing as well. The guidelines for underwriting are a little bit stricter, but you do get 100% financing, so you kind of pay the price on a few things, but to get 100% financing on a $150,000, $200,000 house, get it for nothing, it's not a bad deal.
VA loans, FHA, USDA, and then last but not least, conventional loans.
Conventional is just your vanilla loans, 15, 20, sometimes 10% down, depending on what your situation is. More for your people with higher credit scores, some money down, lower debt ratios, and stuff like that. They do have some advantages to it. They're a little bit easier to do as far as paperwork, and we do a ton of it.
Office located right across from the Cracker Barrel in Boones Creek. JeremyLivesey.com. 6-hour underwriting process, 7-day processing period, 1 day to close. And so, again, when we go to JeremyLivesey.com, what will we find?
You will find, like I said before, you'll find a nice picture of me. Also has a little button underneath that says Apply Now. So you can go on there and it'll actually walk you through it and tell you exactly what you need to provide as far as the documentation. And, put your name, address, phone number, social security number, all that stuff. It comes straight to my desk, and we can have you an approval the same day.
Here you go. Yeah. JeremyLivesey.com, Movement Mortgage. You can check them out. Again, located physically here in Boones Creek, right across from the Cracker Barrel. But again, the website, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Jeremy, Jeremy, and then Livesey or Livesey, Livesay, easy to spell, JeremyLivesey.com. And it's a busy time right now.
It is.
And you love it.
I do.
VA, FHA, USDA, and conventional loans, give him a call. The process is called 671. Again, Jeremy Livesey, Movement Mortgage, one of our great sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks to our great sponsor again, our buddy Jeremy Livesey from Movement Mortgage. We're live here at Freddy's in North Johnson City on this Thursday. Next Thursday, right back at the old stomping ground, will be a Champion Chevrolet. And there he is, our buddy Dave Angie, the news and neighbor with us. Good afternoon, my friend. Thank you for wearing a tie. You're looking spiffy for the show. I'm sure you wore it just for the show.
I did. I woke up this morning and I was trying to find something that matched the backdrop, and I found just the tie. So we're up and running.
Yeah, he's full of it as a Christmas turkey, too. So we have got several topics to talk about. Let's talk. You and I are we're working at the Speedway and all about NASCAR. Love Kingsport Speedway, love all the NASCAR and auto racing in the area. But a big blow, I think, to NASCAR, unfortunately. They're not going to roll up the streets and go home. But Lowe's stepping away from 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson in 2019, to me, is a pretty big deal.
I think it is. That's a sponsor that's been with NASCAR a long time. They back years ago, they're a North Carolina company, but they moved closer to Charlotte to be closer to the race teams and closer to the industry at large because they were so tied in. They had the sponsorship there, Charlotte Speedway, for years and years, and of course sponsored a lot of drivers along the way. They were with Jimmy Johnson since the start of his career, 2001. But they were there before that with a lot of other drivers. It is a blow to the sport because, there have been some setbacks in terms of sponsorship. But everybody could always point to Lowe's and say, there's a Fortune 500 company that'll still pay the freight for a full sponsorship season long, I think if I'm correct, that's the last company that was in that situation. Everybody else has been running off of sponsorships, kind of piecemealing it together for the entire season. So that makes it a big moment, for the sport to lose them. And, I don't think it's going to mean the end of the Cup Series by any means. I think what you're going to see, however, is teams reaching down into the Xfinity Series and down into the Truck Series and pulling sponsorship up to Cup. Now, it's a rough go of it right now in Truck Series anyway. I think a move like this kind of is going to have people looking at what is the future of the Truck Series here in years to come. Is there going to be enough sponsorship to keep that going?
Well, you look at that, and also the other thing you have to look at is Monster Energy has not come back yet and said they had it was a 2-year contract with a chance to go 3, I believe it is, or 1 with a chance to go 2. I can't remember, don't have it in front of me, but Monster Energy has yet to say we're going to come back for 2019 and be the title sponsor. So I'm looking at the sponsorship over the last couple of years. Home Depot stepped away. Target stepped away from Kyle Larson, and now Lowe's has stepped away. So, there's got to be something to it. I'm not advocating this. I'm certainly not happy, but it is newsworthy. You got to report it. So, because I'm probably one of the biggest groupies of NASCAR in Bristol Motor Speedway, which really doesn't affect the Speedway per se, or maybe it does. But bottom line is Lowe's has said no going forward in 2019. And as Jeff Birchfield and I talked before you got here, most of these main sponsors are going to shell out $15 to $20 million to be the title sponsor on a car. I don't know how many of those are out there hanging around when you just go out and go, okay, let's just go get this one. They can pony up $20 million to be the title sponsor of a car. So I think you're going to see a lot more piecemealing than you've seen before, and you're going to have to if these guys want to stay on the track and keep racing. So stay tuned. We'll have to wait and see. On the flip side, Bass Pro Shop is doing very well. They're going to be having Austin Dillon, Ty Dillon, the Schumachers in town, Leah Pritchett next Wednesday at Bass Pro Shop at the Pinnacle in Bristol. So there's a company that sees the positivity of being in NASCAR because they've continued to ramp up their commitment.
It's really interesting to me, talking about Lowe's and Bass Pro Shop, and you think, well, what ties those two things together? And it's Dale Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt Sr. was the guy that, Lowe's, I think early on, that was one of the first cars that they were on as a sponsor. Was Dale Earnhardt Sr. Of course, in a smaller capacity, they weren't the primary sponsor, but still kind of got them a taste of the sport. They jumped in and they've been committed. Bass Pro Shop, people remember them on his cars, and he was a big supporter of them being an outdoorsman for years and years and got them drawn in. Now they're doing well and they're still hooked in. But again, just kind of a reminder of how much Dale Earnhardt Sr. did for the sport and meant for the sport beyond just the wins and the championships. Just from the business side of it, how much he drove business. And I think that's what NASCAR is looking at now. It's going to have to be drivers at some point who are able to capture the imaginations of these businesses. Say, look, this guy, he's too good of a personality. he fits our business too well for us not to be advertising with him. You know, and I think that's where it's going to be. And it's kind of a tough ask right now of these really young drivers because they're just getting a handle on it and getting going. But one or two of them catches fire, you're going to see businesses start coming back just because they're going to have personalities to get excited about. So, and I heard talk too with Lowe's, you know, a little bit about diminishing returns with, you know, Jimmy Johnson. You've been sponsoring a guy for so many years. You know, you're still putting money into it, but I mean, they're going to, even after they quit paying to be on his car, they're still going to be linked to Jimmy Johnson. Success for him on the track is still going to drive people to Lowe's, whether they're putting money in or not. So business people say that's true. I don't know enough about it one way or the other, but I'll take their word for it. And, you know, just an interesting time in the sport right now.
Well, the guy, if he wins a couple of races, is going to make everything go away very quickly, I think, is Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
He's the most popular driver on the circuit right now with the retirement of Dale Jr. This guy can get a W or one, just get one. He hasn't, he's been close, but no cigar. He can just get a W. I think he or maybe Ryan Blaney, a lot of folks starting to follow him. If he can get one for Penske, I think you're going to see a lot of positivity. Not that these other drivers, Harvick winning's not a negative, certainly, but when you've got the most popular driver kind of out there right on the cusp, if he can get a W, I think it'll bring a little oomph, a little positivity to the sport that needs it right now. With this announcement with Lowe's and Jimmy Johnson. We're talking to our buddy, again, Dave Andre with the News Neighbor, who's very nervous because today kicks off the fight for the Milo. Tell folks what's going on.
Yeah, my family, we have a trophy. We're a bit competitive in my family, but yeah, we have a bracket game we play every year, and everybody's made their picks, turned them in. I looked them over this morning. I'm either going to be really happy man tonight or I'm going to be in big trouble. You can't win it the first day, but you can lose it the first day. So we'll see how that all works out. But, man, what a great day for sports fans. Just fantastic. Look forward to it every year. Get almost nonstop basketball. Today you add to it, Tiger Woods is on the golf course and in contention. And, you know, I know a lot of folks in golf excited about that. So just a full day of sports. But NCAA, man, it doesn't get any better than this. A lot of great stories are going to be written by the end of the night about teams that shock the world. And right now, we don't know who they are. You know, you just have to watch the games unfold and see what happens. But, yeah, good competition with me and the family. I lost the trophy last year to some woman, my mother. Lost it to my mother. But, yeah.
Is she watching right now, by the way?
She probably is. This is the time of year
Mom.
she likes to rub it in. So, but we'll see.
She's in Georgia, right?
She is in Georgia, yes.
Now, before we get into it, I want you to break down these brackets here in just a second. By the way, it's Rhode Island leading Oklahoma 19-18 with halfway through the first half. Tennessee and Wright State getting ready to crank up here in a few minutes. So, from what I would gather, if I understood this right, at Christmas time, it was a little.
She put a Santa Claus hat. I don't know.
There you
she
go.
had to have made it. You know, because it's a small trophy and.